I mean, the stuff with my mom died, dude, that's still really hard for me. Really hard for me because I'm not like you. I don't have a wife and kids. I don't have this love, like I don't have this love, you come home every night, you got your kids and your family. I see it and it's awesome. Like my mom was that.
Yeah.
And she's not here anymore. And, she might be the queen of the Comedy Store, but I don't look at her that way. She was my mom. And I don't have her anymore. And it's really hard for me to this day, especially with the holidays coming up right now. I always get very, I get heavy. It gets hard for me because I spent so many years with her, with Hanukkah and Christmas and Thanksgiving, and she's not around. And, it's hard because I was her baby. I'm the youngest, and we were very, very connected, and we had a long run. Me and my mom had a lot of years where we were together, laughing and doing things. And I took care of her last years of her life, and that was really, really hard on me. Really hard on me because you come off the road, and you go into this house that's like falling apart, and she's in the other room, and you can barely hear her, and you go in and you kiss her and she can't really speak. And it was fucking hard, dude, So I'm still kind of like, that's part of the reason why I moved to Vegas is because I wanted to be happy again. And LA reminded me of my past, and I wanted to be like happy. Like I wanted to smile. I want to try to lose the sadness that happen when your parents die and when you're by yourself, so it's hard,
Yeah. How long has it been since your dad passed?
He passed like a year ago, like last year. Yeah. And people are like, well, he was 92. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. He still died, It's like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, dude. You know what I mean? I can't go give him a hug and watch the fucking sports. Like, we can't watch the games and fuck around. My dad opened for me for years, for 20 years. He opened for me.
I remember being on the road and hearing you guys were touring together.
Yeah, and it was just it was so great to be able to do that for him,
What is it tough hearing every comic has a podcast and every comic has an experience with Mitzi, and Mitzi, your mom meant so much to so many people. Is it tough hearing people share their stories of like, they'll say something, you go, yeah, that's not her though. Or yeah, that was a part of her. Or do you get, because it's like, my dad is my dad, but no one knows him. So I get to tell you whatever narrative I want to tell you about my dad. Let alone, does Rogan know my dad, or Ari know my dad, or Sebastian know my dad, and they all have a relationship with them. Yeah.
Well, I think the reason why people love my mom so much, and these are the people that never met my mom, is because they know that my mom was all about the comics and all about opening her heart and the door to comedians. And, I call her the Mother Teresa of comedy because she just cared more about the comics and the store than her real family. And that's why so many people respect her and respect the store. They walk around as if she's still there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's great. And that's how it always should be. It's respect the store and respect my mom. And I think that's why people, are so, they like her. And then obviously, the fact that she, was the only person that really developed comedians. And that was really truly who she was. I mean, my mom was very bohemian, and she was very, like, she was an artist. And she was, like a jazz artist, like that type of like, do like her instincts and her, her instincts were mostly right, and that was who she was,
She was pretty hands off with your stand up though, right?
Yeah, it was with me. She just always said you're not ready. It's just always, you're not ready. You're too dirty. That's a whole other podcast. Like my relationship with her when it comes to how she treated me was pretty difficult. I stayed away from the store when I first started at 17. I stayed away from the store for 2 years. I worked the factory. I went to New York City with Faison Love, and I just stayed away. And then when I finally auditioned for her, it was in the OR, and there was a lot of comics were watching, and she was next to Louis Anderson and Paul Mooney. And I end with pop locking. I end with this dance number. And then I go over to her and I'm like, how was I? She said, stick with the dancing. She says that to me. So, yeah, so it was pretty hard. I mean, she didn't really make me a paid regular until I was drawing people at her club, till I was famous on MTV.
Really?
And I'm like, Mom, there's people here to see me. That long line is for me. And she kind of reluctantly made me a paid regular. She still didn't think I was ready.
Do you think she was trying to protect you?
I think she was just really being honest and saying, you're not ready. You know what I mean? I think she just was, you're just not ready to be a regular at the store, because my stand-up was okay. It was always, it was like doing different weird shit. It wasn't really, to me, my stand-up didn't get good until my career went in the shitter.